Hello and welcome. We're so sorry we're running late because we're learning this whole new method of communicating online. I don't even know if I am live. Let me find out if we're on our website. Let me find out if everything's linked up. Let me just tell Casey we are live. Let's see. My name is Pearl Gluck. I'm the co-founder of the Center Film Festival. We are so happy to be back here. We have literally never done this before. We have given out awards last year, but we did not give out awards chosen by an industry jury. So we're extremely excited about this year. We want to thank our jury for legitimizing our festival and giving it its first entry into the world of film festivals, making it feel like a place where filmmakers can come and connect, make new work because they've met here, meet our students at the Penn State University, Donald P. Bellisario College of Communications, or anywhere throughout the university, meet our community, learn about Central Pennsylvania and some of the theaters that we have here, some of the art venues that we have here. So I just want to take a moment. I don't actually know how to do this. I'm going to be doing this for the very first time. It should be interesting, so bear with me. I want to take a moment and play some of our sponsors for you. This also allows Kurt, who is the man behind the curtain and makes everything work, enough time to get enough people into this room. Much more shop than you need to know, but StreamYard, which is a lovely platform, only allows 10 people in the waiting room. And we have all these awards to give out and these incredible jurors and hosts, and we do not, 10 people is simply not enough. So he's behind the scenes kind of messing around, bringing everyone in, shuttling them from one back green room to another back green room. So that's what's happening back here. But for us, we're going to watch Pearl become a techie in 30 seconds or less. So first, I would like to play for you the Roland Theater introduction by Rebecca Inlow, who works with Kevin in Phillipsburg, PA, to keep a theater that's been around since 1917 running, and it's one of our cinematic gems if you don't already know it. And here it is.
Hi, welcome back to the Roland Theater and to the Center Film Festival. We are very happy to be a part of this wonderful festival again, and we're very, very grateful to be one of the nonprofits receiving a portion of the ticket proceeds. That is really going to help us. We are in the middle of a seating project. The theater is going to turn 104 years old in 2021. The seating is decades and decades old and is really needed to be replaced, so these funds will help us. These funds will also help us survive COVID. We're struggling, we're hoping to get to our seating project, and every little bit helps. We're really looking forward to a great weekend of films, and we know you are too. And hopefully in the future, we can actually all be together at the Roland Theater. Thank you.
And amen to that. So with that, we have something extremely exciting to unveil for you shortly in the program amidst the awards. But let's just kick off our very first juror. Her name is Corinne Chen. She actually went to Penn State. Am I right about that, Corinne? I think I am not right about that. She's backstage going, no, I didn't. But she does know Kurt Chandler really well, who teaches here at Penn State, and that's how I learned who Corinne is. That's how I met her. She's at the Seattle Times, and I got that right? Does really inspiring work using journalism and digital storytelling, and she watched every single documentary, short documentary fiction, and actually we've been calling it nonfiction because we have some experimental work as well. So without further ado, and to kick off some of our very first awards, will be Corinne Chen. But actually, I want to say something I realized with all the nervousness of trying to get it together. I forgot to set us up. So first of all, I personally, and Kurt personally, and everyone behind this festival believes that every single film is a winner. And I'm not just saying that. We say this because we program the films. So we obviously believe that every film should win an award. And these awards are beautiful. That's why we have juries. And we don't sit on the juries. Our juries meet separately. They met under the direction of our managing director, Casey, and you'll be meeting her later as well. So that was the process. They watched every single film in the festival, and they were given a number of different awards that we had available. The awards look like this. They're absolutely beautiful. They're made by a local artist, Matt Serio. in Pennsylvania. And obviously this is the Best Student Award, and it's modeled after the ticket from the Roland Theater. And this year we've done it so that we can actually mail it out to them when they win the award. And obviously Matt's waiting for the list of names, as we all are, so he can put them down here. And it's just a lovely award. It pays tribute to how much we love the Roland and the history of the Roland, and at the same time is a kind of a memory for the filmmakers. Unfortunately, they wouldn't have been here at the Roland this year, but we hope to have them back. Okay, so without further ado, I will bring up our very first juror with our very first presentation. Corinne Chin, we are so honored to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Pearl. And I actually went to Northwestern, and Kurt knows me because he judged a contest that I entered as a student for a student journalism competition. And I'll come back to that later, but it's my great honor to serve on this jury in these pandemic times, and also to present our award for Best Feature Nonfiction. So in the jury, we met for a few hours, and as Pearl said, each and every film was wonderful, and we really thought every single one deserved an award, but we did not have enough awards to give. This was the first film that we mentioned in our 2-hour-long deliberation, and it's the last one we mentioned too. Jurors said, I couldn't stop thinking about this story. We could not get it out of our heads after we finished the film. One juror said there were scenes so poetic, I felt like I shouldn't even be watching this. And on top of that, this was a really important film. One juror said, I felt seen, that the representation in this film helps us see our own identities and how we fit into the world, as well as the criminal justice system here in the United States, which we are talking about so much in these times, and how it differs from the criminal justice system in China. So I want to say a little bit personally about this film because I'm from Chicago. I went to Northwestern, and I followed this news story when it broke pretty closely. So when I clicked play on the film, I thought I knew what I was going to see, and that is not the truth. This film opened so much about this story to me. And I actually took this very same documentary journalism class at Northwestern when I was a grad student there. So it is my personal honor and pleasure to present Best Feature Nonfiction to Finding Yang Yang.
Yay! That's the whole audience going, yay! I'm going to find the Best Feature Award right here. And the director is Jenny Shi. I'm going to bring you in. Congratulations, Jenny.
Thank you so much. Thank you for presenting this awards to Finding Yang and believe in the story. And thank you, Pearl, and the entire Center Film Festival team for this amazing virtual experience and all your support to the filmmakers during this difficult time. Even though we can't celebrate, in person this year, but I will keep creating meaningful works, and hopefully we can come back. I can come back again, and in future, we can meet in person. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would just ask you, Jenny, if you can just tell people who are just tuning in, who didn't get a chance to watch your film yet, they do have until midnight tomorrow to watch it, but tell us a little bit about what's happening with your film and where they might be able to catch it.
Yeah, so Finding Yang, it actually talked about a case that happened 3 years ago. Ying Zhang, who was an international student, went missing at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. But the film is not about the investigation. It's more about who she was and how much her life has touched others. Right now, the film is in different festivals, and we will have the virtual theatrical run starts from December the 11th. And you could check out all the schedules on our website, which is www.findingying.com. If you go to see the film page, there will be all the cinema. There will be a list of cinemas that the film gonna show in the next few months.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Jenny, so much. I'm going to press a button, and if that kicks you out of this room, please sign back in, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Usually Kurt, the man behind the curtain, was doing that, but he's busy shuffling people from one room with 10 people to another room with 10 people. So just so you know, this is an action-packed drama with a ton of mystery, because even I have no idea how this works. Jenny, thank you so much for your beautiful work. I am now going to bring Corinne back to present the next award.
Which is the next award?
Oh, Jenny, let me see if I could tell you. I'm going to tell you in private chat because we don't want to give it away. Doo-doo-doo. Background music. Okay. I'm going to keep killing time here while typing on the side. Someone else was that one. Okay. Do you know which one you were going to do? Can you write it in? I'm going to put myself on here. Wait a second. Hi, I'm back. I'm not talking to someone else. I'm just talking to myself. Okay, great. Let me just have a little non-conversation with someone else. I'm not really supposed to give those out. Let's see. Doo-doo-doo. I have you down for this one, but I'm going to make it up as I go along. Someone said I'm doing great. That's always nice to hear. Let's go to comments. April Wright, one of our other filmmakers who did Stunt Women, just said, congrats, Jenny Shih. What I'm going to do is play a video for you. That's what I'm going to do. And I could use a drink right now. So I think I'll share with you a drink recipe from Skerrick, who is a favorite bartender locally and is in the new, as a guest bartender at the new Pine Grove Hall. So pause for a drink, which I'm going to go have. Actually, I'm going to go look at my notes real quick. So you drink, I'll be right back.
My name's Skerrick, and I will be making a cocktail for you today called the Panacea 2020. So we're going to need some high-quality rye whiskey. Today we're going to use mixers, some Scotch whiskey, preferably something smoky like Lefroy, fresh lemon, either honey or Benedictine liqueur, and if you have a bottle of red wine laying around, we'll put it to use. We'll use an ounce of egg whites, ounce and a half of rye whiskey, a third to a half of an ounce of Lefroy Scotch. A secret ingredient of mine, it's turmeric tincture. It's literally turmeric and vodka, that's all. Put a little bit of lemon juice.
Yum.
Half ounce, and some simple syrup. The crap out of it.
Ooh, the wine. Forgot about the wine. Ooh, that's beautiful.
We're making this drink for the film festival, and we're just going to garnish it with an orange slice. Mine's getting paired with the pandemic shorts.
Yeah. Do you have cute pandemic shorts, Skerrick?
No, ma'am. Sorry.
And just like that, we're having a good time. Great. Well, actually, that was perfect because we would like to unveil something Kurt was supposed to introduce, but he's so busy. He calls himself a utility infielder for the film festival, and I think you're experiencing it firsthand, which is trying to make everything work behind the scenes. What Pearl can't do tech-wise, what Casey can't do, Kurt jumps in, even though he's really the one who's supposed to be here right now talking to you, and I wish he was. So this idea, great.
It's like magic.
Tell us a little bit about this incredibly new development for the Center Film Festival. We're extremely proud. I will tell you before Kurt says anything that we cannot take full credit for the idea. There were conversations that were happening both in the jury room and among panel after panel talking about Pennsylvania filmmaking. And somebody kept coming up, and the idea came from a juror named Jonathan Berman. And without further ado, Kurt, take it away.
Well, as we were talking to people, every time we had a Q&A, we would have we would talk to the filmmakers afterwards, and in the jury room when people were talking, everybody's talking about their influences, and there was one name that kept coming up over and over and over again. And so I'm going to pitch to Kevin Hagopian now, who is going to tell you a little bit more about who we are talking about. And then I'll have a brief video to play, Kevin, whenever you give me the cue.
Kevin, you're going to want to unmute yourself and do that all over again. Also, can you move some books around? I'm not sure. All right, you're unmuted. Good. Kevin Hagopian, one more time.
Thank you very much. And in the 1980s, a new spirit began to energize the American documentary cinema. A generation of documentary directors, cinematographers, and producers, among many, many names, Errol Morris, Jenny Livingston, Michael Moore, Joan Churchill, Ross McElwee, Adam Curtis, Raoul Peck, many, that generation is now justly celebrated for films that added more verbs to documentary's foundational one, which is, of course, to inform. These filmmakers showed us that documentaries could now be to anger, to grieve, to mock, to irritate, to muse, to outrage, to tickle. Tony Buba was already hitting each of these notes in his short films, beginning in 1972. In 1988's Lightning Over Braddock, an autobiographical portrait of his hometown of Braddock, Pennsylvania, he hit them all. And he gave documentary cinema as we know it now a vital, passionate, and subjective field of artistic inquiry, a single film in which all those verbs became active. Lightning Over Braddock rewrote the narrative of the decline of the industrial Northeast from a tale of pity and passivity to one of grit, humor, and agency. This is what the documentary can do, said Lightning Over Braddock to a generation of filmmakers and scholars. Now, go do it yourself, where you live, among the people you care about. If I had to characterize Tony as a filmmaker, I'd say keep in mind something like Walker Evans meeting Mark Twain for a beer at the local. Like Evans, the great documentary photographer of the 1930s, Tony lets his subjects be themselves in all their strange and unfathomable humanness. Documentarists aren't supposed to have characters, but Tony has created some of the most wonderful characters in the history of the cinema. Tony delights in the absurd, but never at the expense of these wonderful weirdos. His characters, like Sweet Sal, the screwball kingpin of Braddock's lower depths, in the short film of the same name from 1979, are three-dimensional, sometimes even 4 or 5-dimensional, and Tony lets them be their endlessly interesting, real, odd selves. That's the Mark Twain part. It was once said of Bruce Springsteen, another great chronicler of the working classes of the Northeast, that what makes his art so great is that he loves the people he depicts, whatever they do, whether he agrees with them or not. The part of Tony's website that tells you how to contact him for personal appearances is titled Invite Tony Over, and you get the feeling he'd like to meet you as much as you'd like to meet him. The New York Times called Tony Buba, quote, the chronicler and the conscience of post-industrial America. And just last month, The New Yorker named Lightning Over Braddock one of the 62 most important documentaries ever made. Tony has since become what he never imagined he'd be, an institution, receiving prestigious grants and having his work screened in and commissioned by the nation's and the world's most prestigious museums and galleries. The second stage of Tony's career has grown naturally out of what he discovered in the first part. Activism in behalf of ordinary people drives his choices now. Black steelworkers in Pittsburgh fighting their corporate bosses and their union in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. The Amistad refugees from slavery. Working class people losing access to what minimal health care they'd had when their local hospital closes down, as small regional hospitals are doing all over the nation and here in our state of Pennsylvania. Old people who become invisible and economically disposable in a country that too often values youth over age only because youth is so much cheaper to hire. And now in his latest short, The Window, all of us. He speaks to all of us and for all of us who have been marooned economically and socially by COVID and by hatred. I mentioned a catalog of verbs earlier. Tony still uses them all, but his films always add another one we so desperately need right now, the verb to love. Tony, in order to ensure that you have to keep making films, we've made sure that this honor does not come with any actual money. The history of the movement that you have helped to create is still being written, and we demand that you keep on writing it. To Tony Buba, teacher, mentor, activist, photographer, filmmaker, even ringleader, the Poet Laureate of the Rust Belt, the Center Film Festival is very proud to name you the recipient of our first annual Life Achievement Award. Thank you.
Come here, young lady. Let me talk to you. Yes. What is your name, young lady?
Deshay.
How well do you know Tony Booba?
Tony who?
How well do you know Tony Booba?
How well do I know? I don't know.
How well do you know Tony Booba?
I don't know.
Did he play football?
No.
Did he play basketball?
Yeah.
Who did he play for?
Lakers.
Oh, okay.
I was in school with Tony.
Oh, you do know Tony Booba?
Oh, yeah. Tony Booba was a year ahead of me.
Say this again?
Tony Booba was a year ahead of me.
And you say you've been around there?
58 years.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Reed.
I know Tony since he was in diapers.
Oh. Was he a good football player?
I know the best. Hi, everybody.
How well do I know Tony Hubu?
Booba.
Booba.
Tony Booba is my neighbor.
Okay, I can't get you then, huh? How well do you know Tony?
Well, I know Tony Booba well.
Okay, thank you.
And I think he's a great person. Okay.
Let's get that mic back in there again. Hi.
Well, he's terrific. He's the greatest. He's the greatest artist to come out of Braddock.
Okay, thank you.
How well do I know Tony Booba?
Yes.
Who is Tony Booba?
I'm going to introduce you to Tony Booba. This is Tony Booba.
Hi, Tony Booba.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is your name Booba?
Well, Tony, we're glad to have you here. Very glad to have you here virtually, and you're the kind of guy who is made for actual rather than virtual. But please give us your thoughts on a career spent in what seems to me like a very happy service of your own community and the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's overwhelming, actually. Thank you so much for this award. When you first start doing this 45 years ago, you really don't think 45 years in the future to what you're making will end up being, reflecting history or whatever. You're just going out and you're making work and doing it. But I don't know. It's really, I mean, I can't imagine a better life, to tell you the truth. I mean, I had no idea what my life was going to be like, as a kid, and even at 24 when I was working in the factories and decided to quit and start college. And this is, and actually, this is something that's starting to drive me crazy right now, in a sense of, pushing actually people like me to go into the trades. I mean, it's wonderful, go into the trade, but why can't you be, like you'll see artists, they'll describe themselves as their poets, their filmmakers, their performance artists. Why can't a plumber also be, or electrician, be a filmmaker? I mean, it's why do they have to get tagged and say that there's just one area for you? You're either you're a tradesperson, and you look at the films that are being made now and the diversity of them, and it's because people are going to school that never would have had a chance to go to college years ago, and I wish it was state schools from Edinburgh to Penn State were made tuition free. I mean, this is really to give a broader pool of people that are to contributing to the arts. And Pearl said, she said, "What are you going to wear tonight?" So I actually put on the sport coat and thing, but I also changed glasses. These are my George Romero homage glasses.
Yeah.
Combination Romero Scorsese. I got a black pair just for the occasion.
A couple of other working class filmmakers who made quite good. Tony, do you think that we're going to how do we come out of COVID and all of the things that word now has come to symbolize in terms of the collected angers and frustrations and real and real physical problems that we face. How do we come out of that a better society?
Boy, that's such a tough question. Usually you say when someone asks a question like that and you say it's a tough question, it's because you don't really know the answer and you're stalling for time trying to think of one. And this is what I'm doing right now. I mean, the split, I mean, the divide is really great. And I don't know what it is. I just hope we return to some type of civility. But there's also, I mean, there are problems. I mean, and I don't think what I think COVID has done is really bring it up to the foreground. I mean, this divide was taking place, and COVID is really just is brought it to the forefront, and it's going to be years for us to recover. I mean, I don't think the economy is going to. It's going to take a while to recover. It's going to be a while for us to get over this, and you just have people who are. I mean, who are unselfish. Like some people are thinking, okay, I don't need to wear a mask. I can go out there. If you don't want to do it, stay home. So people like me think, well, they're selfish for not putting on a mask. But I really want them to mask so I can end up traveling again and going to attending festivals or flying off someplace. But that's such a privileged position on my part to be upset about. I mean, so it's so you've got these conflicts that are just going on all the time.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it possible that we might recover as a society before we recover as an economy?
Yeah, I think that that is true. Like a lot of people who, you look at the stock market, you just can't figure why does this keep going up? When's this bubble going to burst? Is it going to be like the bubble to burst with the real estate and home owning and that kind of thing? Just looking at it, and you figure it just can't. It's sort of a false economy in my mind, anyways.
Uh-huh. But as a society, I think of the kinds of things that happen in your films as these extremely different kinds of people come together and find common ground. And that sounds like in your films, they meet around a conference table and debate the issues. No, they sort of hang out together the way we just saw the people in the streets of Braddock wondering who this crazy guy, Tony Bouba, was. And you have a lot of optimism about that.
Well, I think what's changed, though, a lot has changed from myself growing up, as a young person in these mill communities, is that when you grew up in a town like Braddock, I mean, it was structured. If you lived higher up on the hill, there were wealthier people. There were lawyers. There were doctors. You go down a little bit, there were school teachers. Then, the guys that worked in the factories, and usually, everybody sort of had a job. You worked for the county, so you either lived on the streets or in an alleyway or above a storefront to lower the economy. But everybody was together, and you would see people who were lawyers. But today, people have moved so far away from each other that society is much more segregated than it was when I was growing up. Both racially and especially economically, and the issues of class.
So one more question, and that is, we've been struggling in these last months with so many issues as a society. Do you think that the artist that sometimes mocked, unconnected, airy personality, that's the comic version of the artist. Do you think the artist has an important role in fixing this?
Yeah, look at another Braddock person and another person who's went through our state school system, LaToya Ruby Frazier. I mean, look at her work. I mean, you talk about an artist that can do this, who goes to Germany, works with people in different countries, works with, goes to the closing of the plant in Ohio, of Lordstown, and working with people there, and how she does work with, all different people within it to bring these issues out. And I think that the role artists have changed a lot. I mean, years ago when I was on the Pennsylvania Arts Council, awarding grants, there's always a concern that the artist was looking for grant money, but never really wanted to intermingle with other people, just wanted to have the money for the time and space to work on their own work, which is great. But now you see a whole new group of artists who are incorporating people within the community. I see it in Braddock with these young women who came in from Transformasium. They've done amazing work within our community, working with a group now that's trying to stop fracking in Pennsylvania, and Nick Ross and others who are all artists, but they're also community activists. I mean, there is this shift that these roles that are going on. This Edith Abeta, who's an amazing woman, an amazing artist, and she's one is spearheading a drive, to keep fracking from happening in our region. And this, you don't see this in artists 30, 40 years ago. I mean, it was very rare, but now there is a whole group whose art is at a really high level, and their community activism is even at a higher level.
Well, Tony, which has got to be pretty exciting, because that's the kind of artist that you just have always been, without too much self-aggrandizement. It's just how you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Tony, thank you
so much.
Thank you.
For presenting, and Tony for being such an inspiration, being our very first Lifetime Achievement Award. This does not mean that you need to stop making movies. I mean, we've seen your short in the film, and we know that's exactly what you're tackling. What are my next works? Am I going to make it through COVID? Can we focus on questions of aging and artistry and how we deal with catastrophic situations? Tony, I just want to say personally, when the idea came up, and then when Kurt and Kevin picked you as the person, which of course I was not at all surprised by. Not only did I think it was a perfect fit just because of being here in Pennsylvania and even Center County or areas around. I drove through Braddock when I went to check out the steel mill, but just coming out of a Hasidic community out of Brooklyn, and you're like one of the first documentary filmmakers I explored a whole new direction to go in myself, and you made it okay for me to turn cameras onto real people, and not thinking that everything had to be over dramatized, because people themselves had enough to say, and human desire is in fact the reason we make films. So thank you so much, Tony. We are so honored. There is no award, there's no money, and there's no award. Literally, Jonathan just came up with the idea. So here's the blank one. And we'll get the local artist going. We'll just have him design a brand new one, because of course we would love to have you back next year to present the next one.
I'd love to be there.
Thank you, Tony, so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
An honor. I'm going to bring Corinne Chin back up. Corinne, there you are. And she's going to present the next award. This year we were extremely focused on trying to find films that are set in Pennsylvania. I think we still have Tony up here, so I have a visual like Tony, who has been making films, very committed to Pennsylvania stories. So we started a brand new award that we will continue as soon as I find it. There it is. That's right in front of me. The Best Made in Pennsylvania Award. Corinne, I give you the floor.
Thank you so much, Pearl. We ultimately chose this film because of its impact as a nonfiction film and the potential for impact down the line. We believe that it successfully explored such an important topic, especially in 2020, as our multiple simultaneous national crises drive the wealthy and the underprivileged further and further apart, just as our Lifetime Achievement winner Tony Buba mentioned and discussed just now. Local jurors to State College said that this film highlighted a side of State College that many locals have never seen before, which I believe is a testament to the power of wealth to erase problems that can seem unsurmountable in the moment. The film provided a difficult yet oddly beautiful look at the town, and it was a very frank depiction of life in Franklin Manor, driven by powerful interviews and moving testimonials from the characters. Many films in this festival touched on the themes of poverty, but this one really immersed us in the mobile home park, hiding in plain sight in State College. So I am pleased to present Best Made in Pennsylvania to Franklin Manor.
I am such a producer. Yay! Let's bring up Anita Gabrosek, Richie Sherman, and John Beal to accept the award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Richie, you want to go ahead?
Well, I love that. We just saw Tony Buba, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if you know him, but it was great to see him. I'm really excited about us finishing this film, and I'm really glad that it's sort of like come together, and it came together with all of us, but also now we had an audience. So it's really, that's the best part of, I think, being a filmmaker is seeing how people respond. And I feel like we've gotten really fantastic responses, and it makes me feel good about what we've done. And we've opened up some avenues, I think, for some people in the State College area.
Well, as a first-time filmmaker, I've learned a lot working with Richie and Anita, and I think a lot of the credit goes to the former residents of Franklin Manor, who I think really open up their lives. And a former boss of mine called it the gift, the gift of sharing their lives and being open and allowing us to be there. So, and one other person I think that we need to mention is the many colleagues in the Belisario College and folks that you guys work with who looked at the film and made suggestions and over and over and over again, which is something that I'm sure happens all the time.
I'll just add one quick thing. Thank you so much, Center Film Festival, for inviting us to play here. This was our first festival, and to win an award is amazing. And a special thanks to Pearl and Kurt. This was such a great experience. We had a really great time watching all the other films and then being part of our Q&A, and it was really awesome. Thank you.
Oh, we can't hear.
This is fun. Playing little squares here, getting people in and out. I just want to say personally that we were super excited that this was the juror's choice because, of course, we get no say. Who's behind the scenes is like acting, because she's a little acting background, like, I can only repeat the rules to you, jury, right, Corinne? So we were just so happy when this was the winner because, of course, we're personally connected to all three of you through the College of Communications, but also I know that Richie and Anita, you've moved on to Cleveland, but you're still in our family, and we're just so proud and so happy. We have followed this film for about 5 years. So it's super exciting. It's a very fraught issue, and I think you're bringing light to a very important subject. So really, thank you so much to John, to Richie, and Anita, and frankly, this is the inaugural. Right. You can add that to the list. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Corinne.
Watch me produce. John, you want to stick around and produce? I'm just kidding. Next, speaking of John, we're going to bring up Jonathan Berman. This is the person I mentioned to you that gave us the idea of paying tribute to this person. You now know, Tony Buba, in this way by considering adding a new award, and I'm so glad we did. Jonathan and I go back a number of ways, but one of them is, first of all, we met at a film festival, so it's very relevant. These are what film festivals are about, connecting people. And, like I said, every film in this festival should have gotten an award. And I don't say that bitterly to the jury at all. But you did a great job, Jonathan. Last year, you won an award in our film festival. And this year, you made the time. I know you're in LA. You made the time, like Corinne said. I think you guys were in there for hours. Thank you so much for being on our jury, and welcome to presenting the next award.
Thanks, Pearl. Okay, well, it's great to be here, even if it's virtual. So how do you take events from the past and breathe life into them? I believe that this film, The Sit-In, offers one of the best examples of how footage from the past can be structured to create a must-see film. And it includes a really good primer for all of our filmmakers out there on what to do when you don't have that much footage. In this case, because the networks at the time decided to save money by erasing the tapes of all their shows. So most of the week in the film is lost. The film uses the specific event of Harry Belafonte's guest hosting a week of The Tonight Show, Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. in 1968. And Yorba Rechin, is that it? Pearl? Where are you? Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
jeez.
It's Yoruba Richin.
Yoruba Richin, who also directed the Green Book, is that right?
That is exactly the same Yoruba Richin, the Guggenheim
Amazing.
winning director. She is quite an amazing woman.
Well, I think that her documentary gives us this like really singular window into race, politics, and entertainment before politics got hijacked by cheesy reality TV stars, no names. The film goes into the reality of an era when a singer like Petula Clark, who you guys may know from the song Downtown, is given flack by a sponsor for a brief touch of Harry Belafonte's arm. So it was a very contentious, very charged era, not unlike the one we're in now. If you want to see Martin Luther King Jr. having a moment of fun, like getting a laugh, and get a sense of the fight for racial justice among true American heroes, you really should see this film if you haven't. It's pertinent today, not just for the coda on the film that looks at late night talk shows now and race, but also for the activism, which has entered the spotlight in a big way once again, thankfully. So we are honored to give this gratitude via this award for this masterful look at the past that still resonates today. Congratulations, Yoruba and your team.
Yay! I'm like a one-man band in a rectangle. I want to say thank you, Jonathan. You did great. This is an award that we came up with last year because we weren't an industry jury yet, like we were this year. And so we just had high school and college students band together, watch all the movies, and give special awards, gratitude awards, where a filmmaker used their craft to go above and beyond and make a difference with social impact in ways that are either unexpected and or shed light on issues in creative, super creative ways. And so what we did is we instructed the industry panel this year. We told them, look, we want to continue to do these. They're usually called impact awards. In a film festival, we really like the term gratitude. I think being grateful for a film long-term is what we're going for here. And I actually think this was a wonderful choice. Again, I feel like every documentary and even some of the features we showed would fit into that category comfortably, beyond comfortably. But I am just so happy that Yoruba Richin is our recipient of the Gratitude Award for documentary. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And who else are you presenting today?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking at my double. Well, let's talk about best directing in documentary, shall we? Are you up with that?
I'm great with that.
My chicken is ready, Pearl. Can you? No. Okay. I'll have to. All right, here we go. A 26-year-old visiting scholar from a small city in southern China disappears from her Illinois. Is it Illinois or Illinois? I have a real bug about that. Sorry.
You can get away with either because we don't have a real, we have this.
Illinois.
Why don't you guys put it in comments?
Illinois.
Give Jonathan a little taste of home medicine.
A 26-year-old visiting scholar from a small city in southern China disappears from her Illinois campus. And so starts this documentary look at the worst thing that can happen. The directorial vision of a first-time filmmaker, it can be rough, and that's not necessarily bad, but that's not at all the case in Finding Ying Ying. It is a perilous ride through the worst thing that can happen, created with an aesthetic vision and an unflinching eye, including, for me, two of the most powerful verite scenes that I've seen in years. And verite, a little film school for you, means fly on the wall, like you see maybe in a lot of documentaries, hopefully. The structure, the mise en scène, which is another film term, guys, that's what's in the frame, is ostensibly a true crime story, except it's told with this unique personal vision that eschews sensationalism in favor of sensitivity, combining talking heads interviews, drone footage, surveillance video, family photos, verite sequences, and diary entries to create this singular story. Beyond its obviously compelling and tragic story, Finding Ying Ying offers the sharp look at the uneasy meeting of cultures, of family values and family struggles, and the filmmaker's identification with the subject. The jury is proud to award the Best Documentary Direction to Jenny Shi for her groundbreaking work.
Best Director for a Documentary, Jenny Shi.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Pearl.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this film actually started as a student project when I was still at school. And the identity, I was a Chinese international student. It was the same as in me. So that's how I really wanted to tell the story and follow the story throughout the way. And for me, it was very difficult to, balance how much crime I wanted to tell and how much of Ying's story and her family story I want to include in the film. But at the end of the day, this is a film that really highlights Ying's life. And hopefully, everyone, after you watch the film, you can really walk away with an image of who Ying was. And also think about, right now, we have a lot of true crime films. Maybe this film can be something that, change the traditional true crime narrative and really to highlight what's left behind behind a tragedy like this. So thank you so much. And I'm so
thankful
for this award. Yeah.
Thank you, Jenny. As you can see, your work has really spoken to the jury on both levels. They did call me in at one point and they said, are we allowed to give more than one award? How does it work? I said, look, you guys are professionals. You know how it works. You're the jury. These are the awards. Do your work. So don't ask me these questions. Because like I said, I think every single one of the directors in this lineup deserves a Best Director award. I think every single film does. I am so glad that our jury honored you with the Best Director award. Your film is really artistic and powerful, and much like so many of the other films in our film festival. And we hope to see you again. Congratulations. And we look forward to your next project.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just keep clapping. Okay. Yay. Jonathan, I kept you here because I'm going to introduce our live audience to, I wish you guys were sitting in the Roland Theater. This is so much less painful. But we got this. To the fact that we did something else this year that's brand new. So last year, like I said, we had high school and college students in the non-industry jury. And this year we took a major risk. And we took some of those high school students and those college students that applied to be in the jury this year, and we put them in the same room with you guys, you heavy hitter, tough nuts to crack. And how was that to have 3 generations of filmmakers from super accomplished to just learning how to put films together, how to tell stories visually? How was the conversation in relative briefly, if you can, Jonathan?
Well, I thought it was a really wonderful and valued opportunity to be there with Frank, who's amazing and has a great future ahead of him, and to be there with everyone else, esteemed filmmakers and writers and people from your area involved in film and video. So it was very, it was very Pearl Gluck, very, what's the word? That means I was felling, right?
You were felling. That's good. I'll take credit.
Give me a good Yiddish word for this.
Just
it was
very proudly.
It was Hamisha. It was heartwarming and homey.
Yeah.
And we worked hard. It wasn't easy because there were so many great films.
Oh, Jonathan, thank you so much. The reason he singled out Frank is he was the only high school student, and you're going to meet him shortly. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here. We hope to see you back again with your next film, or we'll make you sit through the jury again, because everyone loves you. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So with that, I would like to introduce Jeff Brady, who is going to be our first student. Just to add to what Jonathan said, I told every single one of my students, and I also told Frank, that each one of your votes are just as powerful as an industry vote. You guys have to duke it out, and your opinions, don't let the fact that they're more experienced, or buy movies for like, New Line Pictures or Lionsgate or whatever, affect your decision. Taste is taste, and how a film affects you. So just, stay in the room until you guys all agree. And that is apparently what seems to have happened. So Jeff Brady is our first student up here, who's going to present one of our next awards. And Jeff is a college student at the Donald P. Bellisario College of Communications. I actually had him in my directing class last year, which was a pleasure. Here he is, Jeff Brady.
Okay. Hello. So, when we were judging the films, judging, not too harshly, when we were judging them, this question came up at least 3 times. And it was, what about Atla? And I think that any film that can bring up that question from 3 different people deserves a closer look. So what Atla is it's a look into an Alaskan family of racing dog racers. And in this family, you see George Atla, a famous veteran dog racer, and his nephew and spiritual successor, Joe Atla. And through all of this, we get a glimpse of what it means to be a racer and what goes into it, why they're doing it. And it's a mix of tradition and competition and legacy, essentially. Although Joe doesn't go on to take up the mantle, he does try, and he tries out of representation for his people. And I think that this film was specifically very entertaining from start to finish. You wanted to know what happens, and that just makes it so elegant in a way. So I think personally, I am very honored to present this Juror's Choice Award to Atla, because I remember Atla. What about it? It's very good. It's a great story, and I think it deserves it.
And thank you, Jeff, so much. Thanks for being part of it. That would be Director Catherine Axley that I just welcomed to the room. Congratulations. Here is a visual. That's all you get.
Awesome.
The Juror's Choice Award. Congratulations. The Juror's Choice Award, for people who don't know, is almost what they call the Festival Darlings. It's where jurors decide that they want to give it one of those, for lack of a better term, elitist nods. And I say, Catherine, enjoy it. Tell us a little bit about your film.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you to the entire Center Film Festival team, and Kurt. I know that Kurt is working some magic back there. I don't know what kind of magic, but it's something. You guys put together such an exciting group of films and conversations with filmmakers. It almost feels like we're not in a pandemic. I've been having a blast listening and watching, and I'm so grateful to have been able to participate this year. So thank you for this recognition. I feel so fortunate that George Atla was so open with me and trusting to share his story, and to have been able to accompany Joe on this journey where he trained with his grand uncle for a year, and then to see kind of Joe grow into the young educator he is today. I think it's so important for us to challenge stereotypes perpetuated by the media with complex stories of Indigenous individuals and communities. And so I hope that Atla, in sharing George's remarkable life and his legacy, can make a small contribution going forward. So thank you.
What an honor. Thank you so much for bringing your voice as a filmmaker and Atla's voice to our film festival. And we hope to see you next year. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Next up, I would like to bring the Frank Liu originally mentioned. He is our one high school student this year. We're actually glad we were able to do it in the first place. Usually we work with CIU 10. They're an amazing organization, but with COVID and the pandemic, it's been extremely difficult to reach out to different high schools, although we so appreciate all their help. And we got Frank. And what a terrific choice. As you will see super shortly, Frank is going to present the next award. Frank Liu.
Hi everyone. So as evidenced with films like Paris is Burning and Kiki, much of the documentation over the years surrounding the trans and queer community in New York has been solely centered around the ballroom scene. However, the actual lives of youth that find themselves in balls or on the pier has remained largely unseen. In Pier Kids, Elegance Bratton follows his subjects with a compassionate investment, often too little seen on the big screen, much less afforded to the community in real life. We are with them through their struggles and their triumphs, and listen to them as they talk candidly about their lives. Thus, the jury wanted to highlight this film's intimate relationship with the community and its unabashed portrayal of trans and queer lives of color. As a trans and queer person myself, the importance of representation like this does not go unnoticed. Not only does seeing my siblings represented on film provide succor to me or anyone like me, it really speaks truth to the benefactors of institutions who leave our Black and brown siblings of color, or Black and brown siblings, behind. I'm extremely proud to present the Gratitude Award to Pier Kids.
There it is, the Gratitude Award. Frank, that was so beautiful. I am going to bring on the director of Pier Kids.
Hey, oh my gosh, Frank, thanks so much for that. Hi.
Yeah.
That was a great speech. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making this.
And thank you to the jury and to the festival, Center Film Festival, for this really great award. You know, this movie is the very meaning of a labor of love. It's the movie that I learned that I wanted to be a filmmaker with. It's the movie that I learned how to make films with. And it's a movie that I took 8 years to finish. So every time that a festival or someone lets me know that the movie touched them, it means the world to me. So I hope those who watch it will go out and do what they can do to make it better for queer and trans youth of color. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to know, like, or what are some of the reasons, like, you wanted to make this in, like, the first place?
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I wanted to make this movie because I had spent about 10 years of my life homeless from the time I was 16 to 25. And I kind of got into a situation for college when I was in my 30s. It took me a while, but I got to college. And I thought really long and hard about what it is that I had to offer the world. Because, you know, when you get to college, it seemed like I was surrounded by people, you know, not very close to your age, Frank, who just seemed to think that everything good was going to happen to them and that the future was theirs to hold. And this is the first time in my life where I had enough stability around myself to actually start thinking about what it is that I wanted to bring to the world. And I realized the thing that I had to offer that could make it better for others is my experience. And it's just the idea of, you know, finding family in places, in a situation where you feel like you don't belong. So I wanted to share the place where I feel most understood so that others can understand where I come from and perhaps be a bit kinder and towards us and more angry at a system that leaves us out there on our own to grow up without support.
Supposed to be me. Thank you, Elegance, for your honesty and straightforwardness and artistry, and see how your inspiration moves from one generation to the next. Frank, thank you for sharing your story with us as well, from not only a jury perspective, but your personal perspective. It means so much. It is exactly why we make films, and I had no idea. Like I said, I'm not in that room, so I didn't know, and y'all kept it from me. So thank you for that, because I'm literally crying. I just texted Kurt and Casey. I am not crying. You are. So you guys are a total inspiration. Thank you so much. Elegance, thank you for bringing your work. We'll say goodbye to you for now. I feel so aggressive, but I'm removing him. Done. Frank, you're going to stay with us and present the next award, and I will be as aggressive with myself and remove.
All right, so our next award is actually a student award. So while most high school filmmakers and their films are like mired with stilted acting, unintentional Dutch angles, poorly mixed sound, and a myriad of other issues. However, one film that we actually saw like in our student jury that we screened was On the Wagon. And On the Wagon features superb cinematography and crystal clear dialogue. So it surpasses like some of the technical issues that are often displayed in other films from high schoolers. And furthermore, the success of On the Wagon hinges on a phenomenal and, above all else, believable performance from D.A. Foley. Speaking like from the perspective of a jury member, the jury would like to commemorate Christopher Potluck for the effort and skill displayed in this work. As a high school filmmaker, one often struggles to get their wings off the ground. Well, this film is already soaring. So I would like to present the Student Jurors Choice Award to On the Wagon.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the jury and Pearl and the rest of the crew at Center Film Festival. I really like to take this time to thank especially DA, because DA he was the one that made the movie. It wouldn't have been possible without him. DA, he's a phenomenal actor. I love working with him every time, and we've gotten to be really close over the years, and I'm just really grateful for that collaboration I'm able to have with him. And yeah, he's honestly like one of the best filmmaker friends that I've ever made, and I would just really like to extend. I don't know. I doubt he's watching right now, but I'll be sure to let him know that he's being appreciated here. So thank you guys so much.
And we're so happy to have you here, Chris. This is not your first year here, am I right?
No, it's not.
And you won't be in high school anymore next year, am I right?
That is right.
You know where we are.
I do.
Welcome to becoming a soon-to-be college filmmaker. No stranger to Center County, and we're happy to see you again, and we'd like to see you again. So thank you for being here. Thanks for including your really impressive work. We all kept looking at each other like this is a high school film, and that just says a lot to your work. Thank you, Frank, and thank you, Chris, for being part of this evening and our film festival. Next up, we have another student, Natalie Ruiz, who is graduating from college this year. She is my current student in directing, and I am thrilled to add her to the stream. I only said that because to push the button, I had to read the button, and there I was. Natalie, tell us about the experience in the jury room, what that was like. Did you learn anything? It's okay if you didn't. I'm just curious if you learned anything from the industry professional.
Of course, yeah. First off, hi, everyone. And yeah, I definitely did learn a lot. I mean, I got to talk to professional filmmakers in the industry, super amazing high schooler, Frank, kudos to you, and a lot of other students I haven't met yet here at Penn State. And yeah, I think it was really fun learning how to talk about a film in different ways and learning how other people saw the same thing you saw. It was a great experience. I'll definitely love to do it again, and I'm super thrilled to be here.
Okay, great. What are you presenting tonight?
Yes, so tonight I will be presenting the Nonfiction Gratitude Award. So, as a jury, we knew this film deserved a great recognition, not just for the way it was told, but because of Tony Ruiz's incredible achievement for the people of Puerto Rico. When Hurricane Maria hit, he decided to make a comeback in his running career and completed a 15K and raised 15K for hurricane aid to his family back home. As a native from the island, I believe this film portrayed a great representation of how Puerto Ricans truly are, always finding ways to help their friends and families during difficult times, like after Hurricane Maria. It also shows that no matter how hard life hits you, there's no stopping a Puerto Rican from getting back up. As we say, echa pa'lante, keep going. It is my honor to announce the Nonfiction Gratitude Award to Running Home. Felicidades and congratulations.
Yay, and that would be John Affleck and Patty Cotter. That's okay, it's taking me a while. Where is Patty?
I don't think Patty's on.
Patty's out there. He's out there.
He is out there. We were texting back and forth, but muchas gracias. And I'm really sorry I don't have my flag behind me.
It's fine.
It's fantastic to get this award and understanding what it is. Tony will be so thrilled. It's great that his work is getting to be recognized in this way. And it kind of brings everything together. As you know, we made the film because we felt like the Puerto Rican story from Hurricane Maria was undertold. And I went for a run with Tony and said, I'd really like to tell this story. It would take a lot of your time, but are you willing to do it? And he was, and Patty was, and our associate producer, Gianna Hahn was. And it all came together, and it's very humbling to receive this honor. So I just really thank you very much, Natalie.
Thank you
And
for making
everybody
this
at the
film.
festival.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's great to be part of the festival. It's amazing. I've been watching the films this weekend. It's been amazing to see them all and to meet some of the filmmakers. You guys have done a great job virtually. I actually had a friend who I met at another festival send me a text saying, "Hey, there's this festival out where you live. You should check it out." I'm like, actually, I know about it. So it's all good.
Well, thank you for that compliment. I would like to do a shout out to Kurt Chandler and Casey Ross Green, because it has nothing to do with me that this worked out virtually. They just throw me in front of the camera. I get, my hair just gets bigger and bigger. I'm rocking the Jufro. But thanks, John. Obviously, we're passing it along to them behind the curtain, but I definitely want to make sure people know. John, it is such an honor to be able to do it. Once again, I had nothing to do with this decision, but we are colleagues, and I love the work that you do with students. And I was there when you worked with Patty on his first film in London, part of that travel program that you do at the Curley Sports Center. And I just have to say, I was really touched. And, Natalie, I'm sure, didn't have to convince the jury, just because it's Puerto Rican. The work really spoke for itself. And obviously I wasn't in the room, but it is just so wonderful. I'm quelling, as Jonathan said. John, we shall see you. Thanks for joining us. Natalie, we ain't done with you yet. So I will remove my...
Okay. So now I will be presenting the Nonfiction Best Short Nonfiction. I can speak for all the jury when I say this. This film touched all of us. The story of Dr. Richard Antoine White is an incredible one of family, perseverance, and talent that inspires the next generation of musicians and dreamers. Coming from a family of musicians, I could see the power of music and how it even found its way with Richard and his brother. It was heartbreaking yet beautiful to see how a homeless boy from Baltimore grew up to be a brilliant, prestigious tuba player. Bravo! And it is my honor to announce the Nonfiction Best Short to Ra Tuba.
Best short. That's the best short? Yay.
Yes.
To Ra Tuba, that would be Darren Durlack. And where are you, David? Where is he?
He couldn't make it tonight.
That's
So,
okay. We still love the movie. And what about Richard White, Dr. Richard White?
I think they may have just expected me to come. I don't know.
Well, we're so happy to have you, Darren. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. This is very exciting. Well, so the film was a lovely experience. We met Richard actually when we were going to we set out to make a film about arts education because it's underfunded and underappreciated in this country. We always felt like, and we went to the Baltimore School of the Arts to look for stories, and we met with the principal, Dr. Chris Ford, and Mr. Ford told us we needed to talk to Richard because the arts had really changed his life. And once we had a phone call with Richard and met him, we just thought he had such an unbelievable story. He basically experienced homelessness. He was running around the streets at 4, 5, 6 years old with no shoes and always searching for food. And then now he's one of the most prestigious tuba players in the world. And we just thought it was so incredible. We wanted to focus on him. So thank you so much to everyone at this film festival, to Kurt, who I've known for years, for asking us to enter this film, and to everyone else. This has been a wonderful experience.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Darren. I'm just having fun with these squares here, if you don't mind. I figure if this is going to run late, we may as well just have a good time.
Yeah.
Darren, thank you so much for your work. Natalie, thank you for all of your dedication on our jury. We look forward to seeing your films as you move along in your career. Thank you. Next up, I am thrilled to introduce you to the Dean of the College of Communications, Donald P. Bellisario College of Communications, Marie Harden, who was not on the jury, but I did call her as soon, it just occurred to me last minute, and she said yes. Thank you, Marie, for being so awesome. We just really thought it might be a nice idea to have Marie talk a little bit about some of her vision that makes something like this possible, and ask her to award our first ever industry best short award for industry standard best short award for a student. So I won't say too much more. I will just let Marie do a little introduction. Again, she was not on the jury. We just told her who she was presenting, but she went ahead and last minute watched the movie, and I'm sure we'll have something to say for you. Marie. Marie, you are unmuted. You get to say that all over again. You need to unmute.
There we are. Can
Yes.
you hear me now? I'm assuming you all can hear me now. So I just wanted to say how excited and happy I am to be here, and how much fun it was a little earlier to see 2 films be honored, that I was able to lead a discussion on those films yesterday. So that was a lot of fun. I am presenting the best, I'm calling it the Best Student Film Award. And this is a fun one to present because as Dean of the Bellisario College, I'm always interested in learning more about the talented students who are doing creative work in our film production program, whether that's experimental work, whether it's documentary work, or whether it's narrative work. And these are the students who are going to be among our legendary alumni someday. And that's really exciting to think about. It's their talent and their passion, and it's apparent. And we have an incredibly, as you all know, an incredibly motivated and knowledgeable faculty to guide them, including, of course, Pearl Gluck. As I watched the short documentary of this winner, I want to talk about this for just a minute. I was struck by the sophistication of the storytelling and the way this young filmmaker used her personal story to tell a much bigger one about the tension, the contradiction, and the humanity in our journey to connect to something much greater than ourselves. We traveled with this filmmaker to meet her family. We traveled with her back to her past, her young childhood, and we traveled with her across the globe as she made her way as part of a documentary production class in the spring of 2019 with the National Polish Film School in Łódź. So she was a first-year student when she did this. She used her trip to Poland to reflect on what it means to be part of an interfaith family. And I'm grateful to have had the chance to see this short documentary called Halfway, and to learn more about this student, to reflect on the ideas that this documentary explores. And her work is just insightful and thought-provoking, and I'm so thankful to the jury for selecting it. Congratulations to Morgan Seif.
All right, there it is. Thank you, Marie. This is the Best Student Film Award, and let's bring on Morgan. Congratulations, Morgan.
Thank you. Oh, Dean Harden, that means so much coming from you. You've been such a part of the experience of getting us in our film class back when travel was normal, getting us to Poland. And that was such a huge and incredible experience for me as a really novice beginner filmmaker. This film was really like the first film that I've like completed and made and felt really proud of. It's the first film I've ever put in a festival and put out there, like kind of bearing my soul to people. It's like obviously very personal, and also like a lot of very close-up shots on me and my face. So it's just, you know, it's a little overwhelming and scary to put out there in a festival like this. So it means a lot when those decisions and the decision to bear my soul and other filmmakers to bear their souls, that it all makes it worth it in the end with festivals and awards like this. And thank you for your kind words.
I'm I'm excited about seeing more of your work, Morgan.
Thank you.
Keep sending it my way. I went on your website and looked around today, so.
Wonderful work. Thank you to both of you for presenting. Marie, thanks for making the time. We really appreciate it. Love having you behind the scenes, encouraging us to move forward and innovate, activate. I know that's your vision, and we're so happy for your leadership. And Morgan, congratulations. Again, I was not in that room. I had nothing to do with this, but Morgan was on the trip with us to Poland, where we worked with the National Polish Film School. And we had another film in this film festival from the National Polish Film School, Love Express. And if people want to watch Love Express or Morgan's film Halfway or any of the award winners, you have until midnight tomorrow, or check them out because they're all going somewhere. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. All right, up next, another person I admire and I get to work with on a regular basis in my own department is Maura Shea. Again, she was not on the jury. We do not put faculty on the jury, but I figured this year something very special happened, which is the jury wanted to give more awards than one. We only had 2 Best Student Films, and they wanted to break it up into Best Director, Best Short, Best Experimental, and there were some others, as you'll see coming up. And we said, you know what, Matt Serio is a great artist, he'll make some more. So I sought out some of my colleagues to see if they can tell you a little bit about what we do as we give out these awards and how proud, literally in this case, we are of our students. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Maura Shea.
Hi. So when our world went into lockdown this spring, it threw all our lives into disarray. And we as filmmakers are used to working collaboratively. That's part of what draws our collaboration. And so all that was taken away and we had to work by ourselves. And Ellie's film Hunger, I think, captured those emotions of particularly of the early days of the pandemic so well, with the repetition, the loneliness, the hunger that we all felt for connections that weren't happening anymore. And yet it ends with hope and showing us that we will find joy again. She took on the doubly difficult job of starring and directing in the film. And I think it lent it even more personal resonance. You've sort of really felt connected to her, but I think it also spoke universally to us all of that time. I know she is a double major with theater and film, and I look forward to seeing a lot more of her in front of and behind the camera. So congratulations to Ellie Fedig for Hunger as student director.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be receiving this award.
I'm actually not a double major. I don't have any background.
But you were. I'm sorry.
No, I'm flattered, really. It was a really important project to me, and it's also the first project that I feel like was truly mine, and I'm so happy that so many people connected with it. And I'd just like to say, like, this pandemic is obviously continuing, and I just want to tell everyone out there that you're not alone, and to take care of yourself and express yourself in this time. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Here is the best, and then we'll put student right here, student director, and hope this continues to inspire you to move forward. Ellie is in my screenwriting class and is doing really groundbreaking work looking at catastrophes and how to tell human stories in them, just exactly as Maura said. Thank you, Maura, and thank you, Ellie, for being part of this evening. And I'm going to figure out, oh, I'm so good. I'm getting so good at this, Kurt. You might lose a job. Next up, I would like to introduce you to our next juror. That is Ellen Exley Dvorkin, who's actually a producer out of LA who worked on films like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then came back here to Central Pennsylvania to be with her family and continue to produce from here. We are so excited to have you as part of our jury and part of our community. And again, dedicating the hours that you did to watch all the movies and then duke it out in the jury room. So without further ado, here's our local star, Ellen Exley Dvorkin.
Well, that's a funny way to put it. Thank you, Pearl. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the festival. I got to say, this was an awesome festival to judge. All of the films were incredible. So this was really, really hard. But I'm going to move forward with the Gratitude Award. I'm going to read a little something for you all here. We all know life is hard, but for an illegal transgender person struggling to make ends meet in an already tough economy, while pleasing her family, while learning about her new LGBTQA community, and ultimately coming to grips with the harsh reality of unforeseen medical hardship, life can be excruciating. Humble filmmaker Flavio Alves has undoubtedly, in his own words, changed hearts and minds. Alves has created understanding, compassion, and empathy, not only for our character, but for our race. Alves has shown that as people, we always have more in common than we have in differences. So for making the world a better place, it is my honor to present the Gratitude Impact Award to The Garden Left Behind.
Hello, I'm just like celebrating here in my room, and thank you so much. It's an honor to receive this award, and I, in the name of my crew and the cast, I want to thank the jury. I want to thank everyone involved. You know, it's such an amazing thing. You know, the world has changed with COVID, right? Now we can. It's a different type of experience. You know, and so I'm so glad that because we need festivals. You know, we need you guys keep doing this amazing work and bring all those stories together. Now, thank you so much. You know, but But I talk about the film, you know, and I hope that everyone has a chance to see this film, which is about a Mexican trans woman struggling to make a life for herself as an undocumented immigrant in New York City. You know, I'm an immigrant myself. I'm a gay man, so this film is very personal to me. You know, but every time I start a new film, I keep asking the same question to myself. You know, what kind of social impact am I expecting my films to have? And I hope that I have achieved it now, and in trying to bring and marginalized communities to the forefront of filmmaking. You know. So anyway, but again, thanks so much to the festival, thanks to the jury. You know, and please, 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 if you haven't seen this film, you can find it everywhere. Just go online and look for The Garden Left Behind. Go on Google, go everywhere. It's available on Amazon, iTunes, every place. And please, please, please watch this film. It's very important that we get the word out. And I have seen the film. Go to social media and tag your friends and let them know this film exists. And let's help to promote the lives of people who live in the fringe of society. Thanks so much.
I'm so happy. And personally, again, I wasn't in the room, Flavio, but we did go to school together so many moons ago in City College of New York.
Yes, yes.
Your film speaks for itself. It was a winner at South by Southwest. It is now a winner here. Flavio, thank you so much for being with us at the Center Film Festival. We look forward to seeing your future work, or we might co-opt you to come and be on our jury next year to help us make decisions. Thank you so much, Flavio, and congratulations.
Thank
sorry,
you.
Flavio.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Listen, the Oscars. I'm like,
thank you. Bye.
All right, Ellen, what else do you have up your sleeve? You're muted. Ellen, you're going to want to unmute and say that all over again.
Here we go. Okay, I was saying I'm amused with the glitches that happen with live broadcast, and now I'm one of them. This is a fun one. This is the category for Best Fiction Feature. The most accurate depiction of the fiction film for Best Feature is practically perfect in every way. In each category, acting, directing, production value, this film takes your breath away. A very real, accurate, innocent, and simplistic depiction of so many important societal issues facing us today. Addiction, child abuse, broken homes, family, economy, foster care, sex trafficking, gun control, death, war, PTSD, religion, and more. This coming-of-age film is both simultaneously terrifying and heartbreaking, but also shockingly uplifting. I see big things to come for this film, its director, its young star, and I cannot sing its praises high enough. In short, it is Little Miss Sunshine on heroin. For Best Picture of the Center Film Festival 2020, I present Small Time.
Small Time.
Wow. Thank you so much. I see it. Thank you, Ellen, and thank you, the festival and Pearl. That was such a beautiful introduction. That's the first time I've heard Little Miss Sunshine on heroin. I'm gonna keep it. It's really so appreciated, this award. There was so much work from the whole team that went into this over many, many years, and the fact that it was received in this way by this awesome jury of really this mixed bag of super professionals and students and high school students. Like, it's really just such a lovely mixture of a jury to receive this award from. I would just say that I hope the film can get out there even more and speak to people about these issues and about these nuances and subtleties of life and being a human on, in this country at the moment, and get people talking and thinking about others.
Thank you so much, Niamh. We just spoke earlier in that live Q&A, so if anyone's interested a little bit more about the making of the film. Niamh, it was so wonderful to have your voice as part of this film festival. I'm going to bring Ellen back in to present the next award. Niamh, congratulations.
Thanks.
I cut her off too. That's very nice of me. Ellen, it's all you for the last award that you're presenting.
Fantastic, and I'm unmuted. All right, this is a Best Actor in a Short Fiction. In a performance on screen, the hardest thing to achieve with a camera on your face, surrounded by a crew,
Regurgitating lines by a writer is reality. Your performance was natural, sweet, adorable, funny, and overall just authentic. I believed it 100%. All that in a short, less than 20 minutes. Because of your performance, it's impossible not to fall in love with you. And for that, the best actor in a short goes to Dafi Shoshana Alpern of Pop 30.
There it is, Best Acting Award. And I'm literally going to do this. And I'm so excited to say we are cutting to the videotape. Dafi lives in Israel, and she sent in this speech.
Hello, Center Film Festival. I'm Dafi from Israel, Tel Aviv. I was so honored and excited and glad to hear about the award today. As you can see, my situation is a bit different from the character of Mika. I'm 9 months pregnant, so you gave me a great boost. Thank you so much. I really hope that next year the COVID will leave our lives and the festival will be live. Keep safe. Thank you very, very much. Good night, good evening.
Thank you so much, Ellen, for
Yes, thank
presenting
you.
all those wonderful awards and your time and energy. And hopefully, like Dafi said, we could bring her here next year. I am now going to bring up, speaking of acting, I'm going to bring up someone who's got some serious acting chops in his own right, has been on Hollywood sets, indie sets, and is now directing and producing his own films. He was on our jury this year. We're so honored to have him all the way from LA. Honestly, that was one of the pluses of being virtual, is that we were able to put together this prestigious industry jury to work with our students and see some of these incredible films. And that said, I bring up to the stage, as it were, Sterling Macer. Thank you so much for joining us this year. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me, Pearl. This has been a real joy. This has been a real pleasure, and it's been inspirational for me as a filmmaker and as an actor to see what else is out there and to just be so inspired to do excellent work just from seeing so much of the excellent work here. So very, very
cue. Sorry, Sterling, I'm not as experienced as you. I don't know when my cue is. That was my cue, right?
I'll do as they do on the news sets. I'll just say Pearl at the end of everything I say. Pearl.
All right. Well, why don't you present your first award, Sterling?
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Well, you know, watching this particular film was for me, and I know I speak for others out there, was absolutely terrifying. And this was not this was absolutely not a horror film category. But as the father of a 12-year-old daughter, the experience of watching this film was just gut-wrenching. And it's one of those films that is so very important given how our society communicates today and the vast array of ways in which we can communicate and how much information is actually out there completely unfiltered and not being able to sort of block it from those that we consider to be the most vulnerable in our society. And so it really was gut-wrenching in that way, and very, very impactful. And I think in presenting the Gratitude Award, one of the criteria that we came to understand is that the film should be something that has an impact in a way that that speaks to the world in which we live today. And so without question, I would have to say that this film absolutely does this. So, you know, I wish I could say, like so many of the others who have gotten up here and presented awards, they they spent some real time writing out what they were going to say, and they were very poetic. And I feel horrible because I should have many, many more things to say about this film, but it is a film that definitely rings the bell. And after I watched it, I walked out of the room, went to my daughter's room, and told her I wanted to see every single bit of social media she was involved with. And she wasn't particularly happy about that, but that's the impact that this film had. So, without further ado, as we say, the Gratitude Award for feature film fiction goes to #like. And Sarah, I don't want to mangle your last name, so Sarah Parazik. Congratulations. This film was absolutely wonderful. Sarah?
Oh, hi. Okay, I'm looking at Facebook. I'm so sorry. I'm like sitting here looking at Facebook. Thank you so much. I'm texting with everyone saying, who is this person telling me this? Thank you so much, Sterling. It's really kind of you to really understand where I was coming from, because there was an incredible amount of research that I did when I was writing the script and then when I was doing the graphics for the film, because we had to create this whole world of online predation, and it was kind of like a horror unfriended thing. And and seeing, I went into rooms and saw guys that literally did what's in the film. That they were following these children. There were little girls, like some of them as young as like 9 years old, giving out their Instagram, because little kids have Instagram now apparently, giving out their Facebook pages and just saying, contact me, meet me. And this is just after I'd seen a girl who'd been kidnapped from her bedroom by a predator. She was living on the ground floor and she had given her email out, and I was following these guys, and I went from room to room watching these different guys. And if this was a different world, I would say I'd be on a watch list now, but unfortunately I won't be on a watch list now, because you know why? It's only, sexploitation is only a federal crime when I was writing this 3 years ago in 5 states. So you can sexploit children, young women, tweens, and you can bully, it's not just girls, it's boys too, but it's mainly younger women. Shocking. Anyway, so I thought, how can I talk about this in a way that will engage not only kids, but parents? So I thought I'll put it in a genre kind of format, and then have people go, all right, well, let's just watch this crazy thriller movie or this horror movie. And what happened, a lot of friends of mine who've seen it, they said, oh my God, I had no idea about this, just like you. So I'm glad it was horrifying in that way.
No, thank you so much. It was incredibly effective in that way, and so much, and a service, because I mean, as I said, as a father of a 12-year-old girl, I made a beeline to her room, and said, okay, you're only entitled to so much privacy now. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it's going to be. So it had real impact, and I think the award is well suited to the film. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. And Sterling.
And you know what? That really warms my heart. I've won some awards, and Pearl, thank you so much for inviting the film to the festival. And, I have to talk about my actors, because they engaged with this in such a way, like Mark Menchaca. He's a big actor in all these TV shows like The Outsider, the Stephen King show and Ozark, etc. And when I told him about the subject matter, he said, you know what? I will do this at SAG minimum. I think this is really important to talk about. And he was really present for it. And the young actress also, we had a Q&A with Pearl a few days ago, but she was really present for it. And they've had people, that they have been close to, that have had dealt with predation, and it's out there. It's endemic, and we need to, anyway. Thank you so much for #like. Thank you so much for recognizing not only me, but my team that put this together. And I also want to give a shout out. My husband reminded me that I should give a shout out to you guys at the Central Film Festival, that my father was born in a small coal mining town in Shamokin, Pennsylvania.
Amazing.
And Pearl, when I was listening to you talking earlier, I thought I really have to make a movie in Pennsylvania. I really have to go back there because there's so many stories to tell. They were Ukrainian immigrants, and yeah. So go.
We have a Zoom date coming up. Sarah and I met through this film festival, but we also are part of something called Film Fatale, which is a really great organization that supports female filmmakers. Sarah, I am so happy to have your voice as part of this, and I'm glad we re-inspired you to think about Pennsylvania 2 generations, 1 generation later. And we hope to see you back. Congratulations. And I removed her. Yikes. I totally agree with you, Sterling. I did a film on trafficking at truck stops, and when I saw #like, you know, her skill was to be able to tell a story that is issue-driven, but is really just, you almost feel like you're just being entertained and horrified. And then later, like you said, you make a beeline to your kid, and you make sure you make change. And that is exactly why we have these gratitude awards, they're impact awards, and then some. And it awards every aspect of the film towards social action. Sterling, what else you got up your sleeve there?
This next film is for me. It's a very fascinating look into a world that I, like so many others, are completely we only see from the outside. And I remember my first experience with this kind of film was many years ago, a film called Little Odessa. And from the time I saw that, this particular community and the subject matter therein has always been really compelling to me. But with this particular film, what I found so compelling about it was that how an incident that could happen to any of us, irrespective of our cultural background or ethnicity or anything like that, an experience that is so tragic but yet common to all of us, that takes place in this very specific culture as a community, but then watching how the ripples filter through that culture. And that's what becomes this sort of unique experience, and then lands us on a very unexpected place as we watch the main character work through this traumatic event that's taken place that he is the cause of. It's a very special film. And it is uniform in its excellence, from everything from casting to, you know, all the post choices. It was just really wonderfully shot, well realized, and could stand with any of those films dating all the way back to Little Odessa that are the most excellent look into that particular culture. And of course, the film that I am talking about in the best short category is Curl. And so congratulations to, and again, forgive me if I butcher these names, I'm terribly sorry.
I'll help you.
But to Sigalit Lifshitz and Shalom Hagar.
You got it, Sterling. A natural. I just know that this is one of the films, because we're such a new festival, I think you're beginning to notice we've invited a lot of these films. They're filmmakers either I've met or Kurt's met or Casey's met or someone else in our college or colleagues have met at festivals in our past or we've worked with. This is one that was submitted, and my day was done after I watched that film. I completely agree with you. The directors are working on a television series in Israel right now, which is 6 hours ahead, and they are on set in the morning, so they couldn't come. But they did send a little clip to play for you. And the reason they're talking about the hug is because it is an essential part of the film. I agree with you, Sterling. I think instead of going in a direction where we're looking into another world and we almost, I don't want to say scrutinize, but think of them as other, you're instantly part of it, even though you're either not raised that way or know nothing about them, but you're instantly humanly connected to every single character from the second it begins. So thank you so much for selecting this film. It certainly touched my heart. This is called Curl, and this is Shalom and Sigalit talking to us. I guess they sent in a bunch of stills from behind the scene or just each other.
We are very excited to receive the Short Film Award. We live in a time when everyone is keeping their distance from each other, and a hug is something you can only imagine. The hug in the ending scene of our film is a hug of love and forgiveness. We hope we can hug soon, and not just in movies. We would like to thank the audience who saw the film, the judges who chose the film, and the entire festival staff. Thank you very much. Sigalit and Shalom.
And it was our closing. Yeah, I just want to cry again. I know.
Wow,
It's
that's
our
really
closing
nice.
night film with Niav's film. You've met Niav earlier. I think they pair very well. They do tell the story from the child's perspective in some ways, or childish or innocent perspective. So please watch the film if you haven't yet. I don't know where you're going to see Curl again, so you may as well try and quickly look at it before midnight tomorrow. Thank you, Sterling. And finally, your last award that you're going to present this.
Yes, this last award that at least that I'm presenting, watching this particular film was watching a film. I was watching something that could stand shoulder to shoulder with any film of like genre that I've ever seen, and I'm talking about films that are worthy of some of the most prestigious awards out there. This film was really, really wonderful to see. And while there were many wonderfully directed films, there was little question that from end to end, this particular film was helmed masterfully by the director and demonstrated a true command of the craft from end to end, from casting choices, eliciting excellent performances uniformly from the actors, framing that prioritized storytelling over pretentiousness, and yet was still interesting in the frame compositionally, a real understanding of how to control tension in seemingly the most innocuous of ways that became very, very jarring just because there were scenes that shouldn't have been tense but were tense. The post choices were great, knowing when and how to use the sounds to support the scene. Same with music and scoring. It was tasteful across the board. Pacing was excellent. This is the award for best directing of a fiction feature, and it goes to Niav Kanti for Small Life, or Small Time. Sorry, Small Time. Just wonderfully done.
You're muted. Lovely, Niav. Not that you're saying anything. I think you're dumbstruck, but you're also muted.
Thank you. That was just such a lovely introduction. Like I was just like listening to your words. They were so wonderful to hear.
Well, it's all about. I mean, it's you. It's you. It's really, really masterfully done, and just such a joy as a director, you know, as a filmmaker myself who aspires to make good films and is still trying to reach that fire on the mountaintop. It's so nice to see your flame burning so high up there. It's fantastic.
Gosh, thank you. I'm like totally humbled by your words and by this award. It's really a total honor to get this from this jury, from the festival. and was so happy to be able to share this film finally with an audience out there. I'll just say that directing is it's hard to pinpoint what it is really, but I think one of the key things it is facilitating actors to be their best selves. And so this award for sure is shared with my entire cast because they were so beautifully involved and dedicated and true. And, it's really, when it comes down to it, all about them. So from my cast and from myself, I thank you all very much.
Well done. Well done. And it was so nice to see that performance you got from your young actor. I mean, it would be one of these days, if there's ever a chance, and I would love to know, I would love to hear how you worked with her, because that was really something special.
Yeah, she is a remarkable young girl who has my total admiration and respect, and I think she might be one of the most courageous people I have ever met. She just goes.
Well,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nia, for your beautiful vision and your film. Sterling, thank you so much for presenting tonight. Loved having you on the jury. If we haven't tortured you too much, we'd love to have you back either with one of your films or behind the scenes in a room for 3 hours watching and discussing all these films. Thank you so much to both.
All you gotta do is pick up the phone and call. I'd be glad to. This was a joy. Thank you so much.
Well, welcome aboard to the Center Film Festival family. Thank you to both of you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye. So next up, I am going to bring you back another student who was on the jury. Otis is someone who's returned back to school after going out into the world and figuring out what exactly it is he wants to do, and came back to finish his undergraduate education as a filmmaker. I am inspired by him. He's in my screenwriting class, and he wanted to be in the jury, which meant watching like 20 hours of films or more. And I hope this was a good experience for you. Otis Johnson, welcome. How was it to be in the jury room briefly?
It was amazing. Definitely a learning experience being my first juror, and learning from the professional filmmakers, not only about filmmaking, but how to be a juror as well. It was definitely a valuable experience for me. So.
Amazing. And do you want to start with presenting one of the awards you're presenting today?
Yes. So there were so many different types of films. They were all very creative. But there was one story that the creative vision and the storytelling techniques used were the reasons why we selected this film for Best Director for a short film. The visual pleasing aesthetics were composed and matched with the story structure, and it set this story apart to where we felt if the directors weren't in this film, that you wouldn't have felt the same emotion from the story. And for me, watching our character get buck wild, being exposed to homosexuality, hardcore drugs, and love all within a short amount of time, it made it very entertaining to watch. And I definitely want to see this story get developed into a feature film, because I love to see how buck wild the character can get. And so the award for Best Director for a short film goes to Jovan James and Elegance Bratton for the film Buck.
There I am. Best Director for a short film is Jovan James and Elegance Bratton. There they are, Otis. Congratulations.
That's Jovan.
Hello. Thank you so much, Otis. I'm so honored by your words, and very grateful that it's connecting with people across like many walks of life.
Yeah, and thanks again to the Center Film Festival for this acknowledgement. Thank you, Otis, for taking the time to watch all the films, and also for your really, really great description of the film. You know, it's important for us to show people the power of Black queer friendship, and that we really do believe that there's something within our relationship that the world can learn from. And don't get too down. We are following this up with a TV show that you will hear about soon. So you'll see more and more of this character getting absolutely buck wild. So
yes, and let this be a testament to following your vision and sticking together.
Yes.
And just not backing down when you're dealing with touchy, complex subject matter. And with the TV show, we're going to be digging into his life, his dreams, his fears. Yes. It's going to be something that I don't think anyone's seen on television, starring a Black gay man.
So super excited. So thank you again.
Awesome. So glad to hear that there's going to be more. Like, it was really a compelling story. In such a short amount of time to get all that in there. Like, it was really good.
Congratulations to both of you. And Elegance, it's nice to see you back here again. It feels like days ago, but it was only 3 hours, 2 hours ago. I cannot believe people are still in the trenches watching us. You guys are amazing. We thought this would last an hour. Obviously, like every other filmmaker, we need an editor.
Yeah.
Or we need to stop inviting such incredible films and filmmakers, which will never happen. So we're happy for this to go longer. Congratulations, Elegance and Jovan. We are really looking forward to what you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, I just cut them off. I think the end of that word was night. Otis, what do you have next up your sleeve?
I have a George Choice Award for you guys. And for my first festival, I hope they're all this tough. Pearl and Casey and Kurt, you made our jobs very challenging. We were in deliberation for hours going over these who should win and how they should win. And I just think this one story, it kind of touched all of our hearts. And I feel that like everyone in this who contributed to a project or who was a juror can definitely connect with this type of story. And for me personally, I felt like this person was like in my head the entire time, because I can just see myself in the future making something like this. And I can only hope that I can execute and deliver a project as meaningful and motivating as this. And so for the George Choice Award, we gave it to Hannon Hartshell for About a Teacher.
And to remind you, the Juror's Choice Award, again, is one of those jury darling films. They really just loved it on every level and wanted to give it a kind of an elitist nod on every level. And Hannon Hartshell is right here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you how grateful I am. Thank you, Otis, and thank you, Pearl, and the Center Film Festival. And it's just a real honor to be recognized in this way. So far, the people who were commenting for me about the film were really teachers who felt like their voice was finally heard. But to hear how people are responding to it in the general public is just incredibly moving. And I made the film because, as I was saying before, I've been a teacher now I entered my 12th year, and I love my students and I love my job. But in my first year, I was going to quit, and nearly half of New York City public school teachers quit within their first 5 years. And I was going to be one of those statistics. And I really felt, being a teacher, that most people don't know what teachers really go through. And what a difficult job it is, but also what a meaningful job it is. So I tried to make the most authentic teacher movie I could possibly make. And fellow teachers came and acted in it. And more importantly, former students of mine came back and acted in it. And even a former student shot the film. So he's in film school right now. And we rented an expensive camera and he shot it. So it's been such an incredible project, and it's such an honor to be recognized by you. Thank you very much, Otis, for your kind words, and Pearl and the whole Center Film Festival. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to you. It was like really connected to the story.
And Otis, there's no reason why you can't make films that make similar impact. And I love that you as a jury selected Hanan's film. We just met some of his students. So if his teaching is anything like his films, I'm sure they'll be going far as well. Thank you so much, Hanan. It's such a pleasure to invite you here as part of the Center Film Festival family, and congratulations.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
I love that. I love that it was the intersection between education and where we are in the community and so on. Otis, you do have one more award to present, don't you?
One more, and I just want to say that like it's a student award, and being a student, I understand like what these kids are going through. They're putting hours and hours and hours into their projects, and we're not always sure if we're doing the right thing. We make mistakes, but that's what we're here for. We're learning, and we're just putting our hearts and our souls on the line. And for this genre of film, it's an experimental film. And me personally, I didn't know what experimental film was until class and learned about what it actually is. And it's hard to explain what it is. It's basically just film, just shot differently. And it makes it tough to express yourself because not everyone can see your vision because it's such an abstract medium for art, and not everyone can understand it. And that's why we were deliberating for hours, or about an hour or so, trying to figure out what to do with this one particular film, because a lot of us felt that it was very artistic and very meaningful and impactful, and some people just couldn't see that. But I just wanted to make sure that I fought tooth and nail to make sure that people understood that there is a story here. There is a narrative to this. It's not just a bunch of images and sounds put together. It's a moving piece. It has elements of life and religious tones to it. And it was very moving. And I just had to, do whatever I could to make sure that this film gets recognition. And for this Best Student Short Film for experimental genre goes to Jack Mayer for This Is What You Are.
Yay, and here is Jack.
Wow, hi. Thank you so much, Otis. That was so nice. I really appreciate it. And I know working on a film like this is just what I like to make. And yeah, I don't think it's for everybody. Really, it's definitely not conventional, but I definitely put a lot of time and effort into a piece like this. I'm so careful. When I'm editing something like this, I'm so pedantic. I just spend hours over the tiniest sound or the tiniest little detail, and stop motion takes time and stuff like that. So I seriously really appreciate all your kind words. And yeah, I'm really happy, and I'm pretty ecstatic to be a part of a festival like this where a little experimental student film can get, shown in a block along with professional work and, among huge industry famous people. And I'm just very honored to be a part of this, and I'm very happy to be selected. So thank you.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Congratulations, Jack, for your first festival award. And congratulations, Otis, for doing the jury with us. We loved having you. Otis, I believe, is the last student who will be presenting. So congratulations to all the students that were on the jury. You made it through. You did great. And Jack, I think you are the last student to win an award. Congratulations to all of our students who were part of this, from high school to college. We are excited to see you next year, either as a professional or as a student if you're still one. Otis, can't wait to see what you make next. And now we will move on to our last juror that's going to come up and present. Can you believe it? Nicole Sedita. I just met Nicole. She's friends with the managing director of our film festival, Casey. Nicole is at Lionsgate, has been in the industry for a decade and a half, even though I can't believe that's true. And has been doing marketing and positioning and I guess producing and distribution for feature films, many of which you know of. Nicole, we are so honored to have you here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for waiting an hour. Thanks to the audience for waiting the hour.
No, thank you.
What are you presenting tonight?
Yes, well, thank you so much, Pearl, for having me. This has been quite the experience. We've had so many wonderful films. I mean, you guys did, as as the other jurors have said, really made it difficult for us to pick and to give out all of these awards. So it's just been an honor. So thank you so much. The first one that I'm going to award that I'm going to talk about is the Best Acting of Feature. And as I mentioned, we saw a lot of great talent this weekend with all these films, but one actor's performance stood out for all of us, with her just amazing emotional range and bringing this character life. And the character was the centerpiece of the whole entire film. She's going to be the one to watch. And she's an amazing future career ahead of her. So I'm very, very honored to present the Best Acting Feature to Audrey Grace Marshall for Small Time.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I am so excited and so honored that, this took so many years to make, and now here we are today, and I've got winning an award for it. And, I just want to thank Niamh for giving me a chance and, just taking a chance on me. It was my first ever film, my first ever acting project. And, now I'm going to have a lifelong career ahead of me, all because she thought I was amazing. She thought I was good, and she casted me in the lead role of this really dark feature. And a lot of, kids can't play such dark roles. And, I'm honored that she's given me the chance and I was able to fulfill it. I'm really thankful.
I don't know if you know, Audrey, but you can look at our panel of jurors, and some of them are accomplished actors, obviously people in the industry like Nicole. The films are incredible in this film festival. The acting is amazing actually in every single film. So I hope you realize the impact that you've made with your interpretation of this character. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you up there with me out there for.
Wow, I'm so happy. Thank you so much, Niamh. You're the real one to thank here. There's, the only way to have a good actor is to have a good story and a good director. And, you fulfilled a good middle, a good beginning, and a good end for the movie.
Thank you. I'm so excited that you got this award, Audrey. It's like so deserved. I think there's no award more deserved than you getting this after all of yourself that you put into this film. And holding together a feature film from the age of 7 to, how old were you when we finished? Maybe 8, 9 or 10, maybe
10 or 11, yeah.
Around there, is for an adult, that's a really big task, and for you at that age, and the fact that you held it together and so strong is really, really very impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do amazing things.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone picking me at the festival for, out of all the other amazing projects that, I got to win an award too.
Well, we're looking forward to the future work from both of you. Thank you so much, and congratulations to you, Audrey. Next up, Nicole, what do you got?
Well, we got keeping in the vein of amazing actors. The next one up is the Best Actor for Short. I also would be able to say that I'm also presenting this on behalf of our fellow juror, Dr. Leland Crane, who wasn't able to be here tonight. So, but I'm going to share his words for everyone. The key to a great comic performance is not being funny, it's in being authentic. And then you add in makeup and prosthetics, well, that's not easy at all. So therefore, I'm very honored to present the Best Actor Short award to Kevin Mambo of the Henchmen of Notre Dame.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to start off by thanking our team. Bruce Hill, our LP, Stacey Gray on hair, Beatrice Sniper with amazing prosthetics, Ashley Williamson with makeup as well, our AD who crapped the whip, Isabella Olaguera, production design, Charlie Robinson. Thank you, Jessica, for this beautiful, beautiful location where we could tell this amazingly intimate story. At the same time, I am very appreciative of the relationship between Daniel Maraschino and our camera op, Chris Anand, because they have with Tim a very great shorthand. And Leroy and I have been friends and been on the boards, sweating blood for a very long time, more over a decade. And this is not my first outing with Tim, who's a very, very good friend of mine. But in order to really see Quasimodo, you have to actually see the creation of this team. And I wouldn't have been able to push through to that next place and just be simple and honest and have an audience root for this character in a way if we hadn't had this entire team together. So thank you, Pearl, and the jury for the Center Film Festival so much. This a journey that we did in one day. This was one day of work, and everybody came. Fortunately for me, it was only 2 blocks away from where I lived in Fort Greene. So I get there at 6 a.m. for 2.5 hours of makeup. But when I knew we really had accomplished what we were trying to set out that day, I went, got out of prosthetics, got out of makeup, all of that as people were wrapping up, and walked on set. And people started asking me who I was.
It's the end, Kevin.
This is a closed set. Who are you? Who are you? And which ultimately to me meant that everyone was focused and everyone was in and everyone is invested. And that is the most amazing artistic venture to kind of be in, you know? And at a time like this, when we are so divided and so polarized, and that those divides are getting bigger and bigger, and we are also, for so many reasons, so isolated, to be able to bring comedy into people's lives and just have a reverberation where as a team we've come together to make something that actually touches people. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for this. So thank you, Pearl.
Kevin, I liked your salsa moves in the film too. It was awesome.
Mama loves mambo. Papa love mambo.
And you can take this award, it's much bigger in person, and put it up there with your Emmys and your accolades for being Fella on Broadway. I loved you in that. It blew my mind. Your comedy in this short was so good. I know that's testament to the director as well.
If you really know me, I'm like not that serious a guy. So I don't know why I keep getting cast as villains, but I will cash them checks and I enjoy the work.
Right on. Kevin, please come back to our film festival. We loved seeing you on our screen, and now especially taking the time to accept this prestigious Best Acting Award at the Center Film Festival.
Always. Thank you guys so much.
All right, Kevin. And up next, Nicole, what do you have?
Yay! We are now moving on to the great state of Pennsylvania. Yay! We are very excited to honor filmmaking and films in Pennsylvania. There was a lot of great choices, and we were all really happy and very, very pleased to rally around this one, and mainly because not only was it obviously it was shot in Pennsylvania, but the story was set in Pennsylvania. The filmmaker explored her roots and the culture identities, and as being an Indian in Pennsylvania, it was just really all around just a wonderful film. And we're very pleased to present the Best Made in PA to Definition Please and Sujata Day.
Yay!
Hi, hello. Thank you so much. This is so great. Oh my God. Making this film in Pennsylvania was, all a part of it. I wrote the script and I said, the slug line was Greensburg, PA, which is, where my childhood home is. And if you watch the film, you'll notice, if you're from any of these places, you'll notice, Patel Brothers in Monroeville, and you'll notice an acting school in Greensburg, or, we tried to film at Sheets. They wouldn't let us, but that's okay. And I, thank you so much. This is such an honor because I am PA through and through. I partied at Penn State Arts Fest when I was, in college and high school. And I really love our state. So it was really important to me that Pennsylvania was another character in my film. And I want to thank my cast and crew. They were amazing. And I also just had one of the best experiences as a first-time filmmaker that I want to wish that upon every other first-time filmmaker. Just a very smooth, fun, educational journey. And, my parents were very supportive. And so I would like to give a shout out to them. They let us use their house, which is pretty wild. But yeah, thank you so much, Center Film Festival. You guys are so great. Pearl and Nicole, I just enjoyed so much also being the opening night film. That was really great.
It was so great, and I've not been to Pennsylvania, if you can believe that, but I really felt the love of Pennsylvania, and the fact that was your house that you grew up in just made it even more special. I just loved it. It was such a lovely movie. Really, congratulations.
Well, you're both in LA. You're both in LA, so you have to get together. Sujata,
Yes.
Thanks for taking a minute away from all the amazing work you've been doing, both with your own projects, with Issa Rae, one of her early projects, and then you moved on with her to Insecure. We recognize you as an actress, but your work as a director is clearly beginning to make a major impact. That was your debut film, and we're so happy that you came back here to Pennsylvania to make it. Thank you so much, Sujata. Congratulations.
Thank you guys. It was so fun being here. I appreciate it.
Sure, Nicole, and we'll see you back. Don't worry, Sujata. You're going to come talk to my students again.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. And thank you, Sujata, and thank you, Nicole, for taking the time. I know how busy you are now. Everything's opening back up, and you figuring out during COVID what to do with films, where to get them, where to distribute them, how to make the funds back so you could support the filmmakers and the film projects. Really appreciate your time.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you for having me.
And we'll get you to Pennsylvania, Nicole. We'll get you to Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pearl.
Thank you. Next up, I would like to introduce you to the managing director of the Center Film Festival. She has a special announcer who's going to tell us a teeny bit about what was going on in the jury room and how this next award came to be. This is Casey Ross.
Hello, everyone. So as our jury found themselves deliberating over Zoom screens in 2 different breakout rooms and me floating back and forth in between, obviously because of COVID, they wanted to extend a special recognition award to something that they agreed would be stapled as a reminder of the passing of times that we find ourselves in right now. And not only is this collection of stories about online experiences shown through captured video chats, but the series offers a fusion of sense of humor, vulnerability, and holds a raw, reflective mirror onto all the unfolding current events of our world in real time. So I'd like to say congratulations to director, writer, editor Nitsan Magar and her cast for their work on the short series, Quarantine, I Love You. Hello again. Congratulations.
Hello. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate being able to participate in this film festival. I think as a filmmaker, that's always been the way that I've used to be, interacting with an audience. and with other filmmakers. And in making this project, it was so kind of off the cuff and without any sort of plan, like a film normally would have, that I didn't even think about it in the framework of participating in something like this. And so it's been a surprise and a joy to be here and to be part of this. And I really appreciate the special consideration for this special sort of film.
Absolutely. And I think I could play a character in maybe one of your series.
Definitely. The way that you use the situation, the way that you use the situation that we're in with such creativity and accessing actors as quickly as you could and creating this web series that is now has a mind of its own is wonderful. I'm so glad our jury did a special mention for you. And of course, we'd love to have you back here again at the Center Film Festival and in Center County. It's a pleasure to see you again, and congratulations.
Thanks, Nitsan.
Okay. Casey, we're going to keep you up here.
Okay.
This is our last category of the evening. I can't believe it. It's also my favorite because the jury awards make me very nervous and upset because I'm very happy for all the winners, but I want to give them to every film. I just get agita. So this is the part where I get really excited, and it's the audience awards. We kind of did a tally by the afternoon and quickly called the filmmakers and said, because the jury deliberated yesterday. They could see all the movies over the last couple weeks. But this, you got to wait and see what happens. And I've been getting emails about these films, and we've been getting really great reviews. So this is really my favorite category for that reason. It's when the audience speaks. That's not to say I don't love my jury. I obviously do. And I think it's very important to have these awards that helps people's careers and encourages them to keep making films. But this is the one that speaks to the communal side of what we do, Casey. And I'm also going to bring in Kurt here, who's been working behind the scenes. Say hi, Kurt. I just got you back. You've done that to me the entire time. So, all right, I'm going to remove you now. So for the three of us, this is the part where it gets really exciting from the communal and community perspective. I can't speak anymore. But we still have an audience, which is great. And more importantly, we have our filmmakers. Casey, what are you presenting tonight?
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to piggyback on Quarantine. I Love You. But in response to the COVID lockdown, virtually directing during our present situation, this voracious filmmaker creates and chronicles a poetic look into the worlds of people experiencing love, grief, strife inside their newfound realities. After spending the last few days with this brilliant down-to-earth filmmaker, who actually had another film called Brother in our festival, I could not agree more with the comments that we received from our festival audience. Intelligent, engaging, sexy, moods and tones with twists of real, from the heart. So I would like to present director Yaqui Smith with the Center Film Festival Audience Award for Pandemic Chronicles. Hi, Yaqui.
Hey.
Hello again.
Hello. Thank you so much for just showing the work. And, thank you to the audience for seeing the value in the work. This work was really in response, not only to the pandemic, but to an artistic drought, because I think when we're all in our houses quarantining, oftentimes we can lose our inspiration. And I wanted to keep my inspiration by not only creating something that I could write, but also engaging with other artists who would come in and help me bring these things to life. So I really have to thank all of them because, yeah, it's my brainchild, but without their help, without them sacrificing their time, without them really, showing up and allowing me to direct them on Zoom into the late of night, sometimes 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, actually, this would not have happened. So I want to thank all of my collaborators. And again, thank you to the festival for inviting the film, and just thank you to the audience. This was a really, really great experience. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Yaqui.
There it is, Yaqui. It's going to come your way. I'm going to do one of these things.
Awesome.
I can see the lighting, where the lighting came from in your background there.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody needs to check out all your films for sure.
Actually, you know I love your work, and I'm just so happy that our audience did too. And we can't wait to have you back here, either on the jury or with your next project. You're constantly making movies. You're so prolific. You have so much to say, and we're so glad that you said it right here in Center County. So welcome back anytime. You just reach out. I'm excited that this is the award that we are bestowing upon your work. And thank you for your beautiful film, Brother, which, as you know from our panel, moved so many people and created really great conversation.
Well, thank you so much. And you invite me and I will be there.
Okay.
Well, yeah, next
Well,
time.
your son.
All right.
Where's the kid? He went to bed? This is when we can do all the Q&As. Or not.
Right. Bye, y'all.
Good night, Yaki. Thank you. Casey, what's the next film you have up your sleeve?
Okay, so back for a second time at the Center Film Festival. It is no surprise to us that this film was an audience favorite. It's action-packed, permits us to take a look behind and in front of the camera into the lives of women who drive the thrills of Hollywood's biggest action sequences. Going from the silent age into today's blockbusters, and then also the fight off screen for fair treatment. For me, this film pulls one hefty punch as it impacts our thoughts on feminism. So I'd like to say congratulations to director April Wright for another creative and authentic voice giving us the wonders of stunt women, the untold Hollywood story. Thank you, April.
Thank you. This is such a shock and an honor. I'm so excited, especially to get the audience award for this film. I wanted to thank Pearl and Casey and Kurt and the whole Center Film Festival. I had a blast screening at the Roland there last year, and I'm so happy that you invited me back. And I'm in such good company with all the other filmmakers, a lot of them that I know. And it was a real blast to make this film. We had a really great team. All of the producers and MPX Films and Shout Factory to help make it and get it out there. Michelle Rodriguez coming on board. Molly Gregory, who wrote the historic book that the film was based on. And especially thanks to the amazing and inspiring stunt women who let me get in their world and tell their amazing story. And it was a lot of fun to make this film. And thank you to the audience for enjoying it and for selecting us for the Audience Award. It's really cool.
Yay! This is so
I
great.
know, everyone got to see that film.
I don't know why you're surprised, April.
Yeah.
Your film has been winning awards across the country internationally, and also you're one of those filmmakers, as we said earlier, that knows how to tell an entertaining story, and before you know it, you may actually have learned something. And meeting Pam Grier's double, thank you very much. Doris Day's double, Liz Patton's double. What did you think might happen at a film festival? Of course you won the Audience Award. Thank you so much for getting out there and telling their stories while you still can. Having the vision to do so, putting them into rooms with younger stunt women so they have the intergenerational conversation. That's for your directorial vision. And we're so grateful that you're making these films, that you keep coming back and showing them here. And we're excited to hopefully have you again next year.
I know.
Congratulations, April.
Thank you, April. Congratulations.
Huge honor. And like I said, I take it back to my whole team and the stunt women.
Wonderful.
Take care. Thanks, April.
Thank you.
All right. Casey, I think you have last but not least, right? I know we don't want it to end, but it's got to end sometime. We don't want it to. I know we need sleep, but not before we hear about the final Audience Award that came our way.
So, in a modern day portrayal of an infamous French-derived character, this humorous piece, shown through crisp contrasts of black and white, tells the tale of Quasimodo, who yearns to break free from his former identity and land a job in the service industry. With a sophisticated backdrop, the gorgeously layered talents of Leroy McLean and Kevin Mondo shine. So let's put together some really big hands for director Tim Naylor. You've won a Center Film Festival Audience Award for The Henchman of Notre Dame.
Right on. Why do I?
Hey!
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is great. I've never won an audience award in anything. I mean, I love the opinions of juries, critics, judges, and all that. But an audience award means the most because I make films ultimately for audiences. But before I forget, I need to thank my world-class talent in front of the camera, Kevin Mambo and Leroy McLean. They did the homework to bring virtue and dastardliness to the screen. Also, I got to thank my amazing crew, my DP Daniel Maricino, who just made it look like a 1930s film. My special effects makeup artist Beatrice Sniper, Isabella Olaguera, who was our AD. She ran a tight ship.
Very tight.
Gray did the hair. She gave Kevin that nice little queef. Ashley Williamson on makeup. Bruce Hall's my line producer, and anybody else who toiled on my damn film. Oh, Charlie Robinson, our production designer. And then there's one other person I gotta thank is my personal injury attorney, Adam Sattler, whom without the financing of this film would not be possible. Also, with collaboration with the lady who hit me with her car. Those two I owe the budget to. What else? Who am I forgetting? Anyone else?
While you're thinking about who you're forgetting, I'm going to share with our audience, especially when they're rewatching it, what you said when I called to tell you. Do you remember? Tim was like, "Are you sure you don't need to recount those votes?"
Oh yes.
No. Kevin, you're back.
I don't want to steal any of Tim's thunder. Tim, this is your speech, but I want to say that I've been a professional in this business for 30 years, and you are one of my favorite brothers and collaborators.
What, I'm not your favorite?
Great. Well, not necessarily my favorite, but let's do that for now. But
Okay.
always bring your eye to the camera. You always bring the writer in you to the production. You always bring the captain to galvanize the entire team to be their best, and you stand in front, and a yes is a yes, a no is a no, a maybe is a maybe, but everybody is involved in the creation of the work that you make, and you are an excellent general. We'll follow you into battle anytime.
Cool. Will you help me with my fence this weekend?
Well, I lift, but I don't lift too much. I just don't do windows.
Okay. I need to thank my hype woman, my partner in crime, my wife, Zainab Jah.
Yeah, mama.
She's the one who supports me through thick and thin and inspires me to do things like make films about Quasimodo. And then also before I forget, I gotta thank my lofty inspirations being Charles Lawton, Victor Hugo, Mel Brooks, and Gloria Estefan.
You know, I have to tell you, we watched the audience dwindle as it got later and later. The second you guys got on, it just started going up again.
We'll keep talking. we'll have the ratings.
I just want to say, it's so nice to see you, Zainab. I love your work. As you know, I'm a huge fan. Let's do a close-up. Boom, only because I can. Boom. We hope you feel as much part of the Center Film Festival as we've made Tim feel. We'd love to see you guys here, and you, Kevin. Casey cannot run away. We're not going to let her. Kurt was tortured the entire 3 days, and I can't go anywhere. So I'm just playing with buttons now. But in all seriousness, the level of talent, I think, is incredibly clear. And ending on this note is right up our alley, because we're expecting to see continued excellence, continued effort, continued inspiration and talent. Exactly what Zainab just said. That's right. So
I could have been watching
my family
the last hour and a half.
And since we may as well plug all of your work, Kevin, you're writing a new project right now.
Amazing. Working on Flying Hobos, which is about the first flight in 1932 of the first two African-American men to fly across the country. So we have a play that we've been moving around the country in schools for the last year. We have a documentary and feature in development, and just trying to get information. That we're so separated now that projects like this all of a sudden have much more urgency than they did when we weren't so isolated. So I'm happy, proud of
The
that.
film is also called Barnstorming Brothers. That's the film. That's the film that I'm going to adapt for you.
Well, Kevin, we love
Eddie Griffin dropped out, but thanks, we've got Kevin, in the helm right now.
Kurt and Casey. This is turning into that late night radio show we thought we were trying to. Kevin, whatever you do, I'm so glad you're writing and directing, but please stay in front of the camera and on stage as well, because your vulnerability and honesty and authenticity and generosity as an actor is
And
astounding.
I need you to play my fiance or husband once more, because we've done that many times on stage.
We
Actually,
can do that and do that and do that some more and some more and some more.
Oh, right. Zainab, you were also in Fellow, weren't you?
No,
I
Zainab and I
was
did
in
the
first
convert.
Broadway workshop.
Which
but I
one?
was not in the final. I was in the first Broadway workshop, but I wasn't in the final show. But I've worked with Kevin many times, and I love working with that brother Kevin.
We're all family.
Weren't you just on stage, Zainab?
What?
Weren't you just on a really amazing production on Broadway?
I did Venus with Kevin.
Right.
Susan Laurie Parks play, and then the last thing I did was Busman and Lena, which is also a Susan Laurie Parks play. And with Sar, the other guy who played.
You got a lot of husbands out there.
These two fellas were just chasing me in my life everywhere. They follow me, they're behind my back everywhere. These my brothers.
Well, we'd love to have you here, literally, but unfortunately, until then, we'll play with you from across the miles virtually. What happened to your lighting, Tim?
The one time, right?
One time.
I was on deck for so long, I ran out of batteries.
That's why I plugged my lights in. That's why I plugged my light cube in now.
There we go. Like that.
Magic.
We're like Boy Scouts.
Magic. Filmmakers.
Anything you want to say as final thoughts to these crazy cats or anyone else who's still listening at this time of the night?
Oh, I gotta thank the folks. They made the mold.
They actually did. I actually am, as someone who's been sequestered writing and working on projects for the last few months, it's wonderful to commune with other artists, and we need to make sure that we keep doing that. It's very easy to slip into your own thing, right? And just continue to keep burrowing down. But the more that we keep touching sparks, I think the more that we keep remembering to elevate.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for community tonight. That was really wonderful for me.
Amen.
Oh, yes, during these times of plague. Times of plague. We all need to get a good laugh. And
yeah, Tim, I'm going to bring you some rats, eh? We'll
yes.
start there.
During these times of plague, fleas, and rats.
Exactly. The Bubonic.
A virtual festival is definitely one of the best things we can be doing.
Excellent.
I'm
Well,
having a good time. Seeing all your faces, all 2 inches of your faces.
all right, you two. There's no music to play you off stage, but it's been a pleasure. Such a pleasure, Kevin, to have you here. Such a pleasure, Tim and Zainab.
Thank you.
Zainab, right? I have to keep saying that right. Zainab. Zainab, because we plan on saying it often here at the Center Film Festival. Bring you all back here. Otherwise, I'm going to come darken your doorsteps in Brooklyn, New York.
Darken away, darken away.
Brooklyn, thanks for being with us. Okay, I'm removing you. Remove. They're gone. No way. This was the most exciting virtual film festival I've ever been at, because it's also the only one I've ever done. So
I know. Thank you to everyone.
I'm afraid to bring them back in. They're still at backstage, but then it'll turn into like another amazing comedy script development workshop with Kevin, Tim, and
Well,
Zainab.
let's thank Happy Valley Adventure Bureau for sure.
Yeah, If not for Happy Valley Adventure Bureau, I feel like I thanked them in the beginning, but wasn't that like 3 weeks ago?
It felt like it.
2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. Happy Valley Adventure Bureau, Penn State, Donald P. Belisario, Communications, and the Aberley Foundation for all of their support for making this festival happen. Thank you, Casey, for being behind the scenes, and Kurt for making it happen. I don't know how we would have done it without the two of you. I would just be talking in my kitchen surrounded by wooden awards. So with that, we wish you all a good night. Safe hugs and kisses from afar. And we look forward to seeing you at our Best of the Fest series throughout the year once we get that up and running, at local businesses and online across Center County, and of course next year at the Center Film Festival.
Back
Thank
to the
you.
Roland.
Let's go mix those
in real life
now.
Well, thank you and good night, Center County.